What better way to start off the day than flexing on one of your favorite cousins, the pride of the Edelfelds and Ren's arch nemesis, Luvia. Your time has come. Looking back at her moves in Fate Stay Night, she has great reflexes, being able to stop Ren's reinforced punch and leg drop and casually throw her to the ceiling. I'm not done with you yet. She took Ren to Suplex City, her power being massive enough to leave a crater in the ground. And Prismaillia, when Beatrice tried to keep her out the room, her raw power was enough to kick the door straight off the hinges. In their battle against Shadow Salter, her and Ren tanked a powerful attack from behind, later proceeding to give her commands unbothered. Her maneuvering is on point, being able to dodge multiple of Shadow Gil's magical whips with just moments to spare. Back when she was up against Salter, she flat out limboed Salter's energy wave from close range. She was fast enough to dodge Shadow Herc even though she was in an enclosed area. When she was back at the mansion, she dodged an entire dresser from Bazette and had enough time to respond after. When she was being brainwashed by Angelica, she was fast enough to catch Ilya's dirks while she was using the assassin card. If you look at case files, we know that she's well studied, having a great understanding to anatomy and theological concepts. She is highly adept when it comes to the field of wrestling, showing us several techniques on the security golems and being described as a literal human forklift. Over in Prisma, Kuro mentioned in just the time that she's been around, Ren and Luvia have fought at least 120 times and they're evenly matched. She's shown to be capable of body slamming a drunken arts master. In the Apocrypha timeline, it tells us that her and Sakura made it to the big leagues as tag team pro wrestlers. They really out here hitting people with DDTs. In one of the many times that Luvia and Ren fought, it stated that their antics alone was enough to destroy 3 rooms and injure 14 people that were nearby at the clock tower. She canceled out Ilya's energy wave thanks to her being in possession of a shadow card. From case files, as I mentioned before, we know that her gander bullets are capable of stopping someone's heart and ending their life. Even Gray mentioned that if Waver was touched by one of her ganders, he would probably die, leaving no remains. They're also known for being able to penetrate solids, including something that's made out of brick. In Prismaillia, a civilian got hit by a stray gander and she was out cold for the next 3 days. In her fight against Bazette, she was tactful enough to use one of her bullets to shoot down her own chandelier as a defense. Her gem Magecraft comes with multiple manipulations, one of which being able to search the ground below her for ores and water supply. She used a myriad of gems in the form of bullets and let out a barrage hitting nearly every security golem that was in the room. Just tossing a couple of her gems was enough to create a massive explosion when she fought against Shadow Salter in Prismaillia. She used this same attack to stop one of Shadow Herc's projectile boulders at moment's notice. In her fight against Bazette, she had enough power to use her gem vault and blow up her entire mansion with Bazette in it. She managed to combine her gem Magecraft with Ren's Azov dagger to replicate the power of Thor's hammer. In their fight against Shadow Gil, she tactfully placed some of her gems across the wall that allowed her to create a bomb and cave the ceiling. She had enough power to hold back Gil's magical mist, using her shields against him 2 times in a row. In case files, it's known that she can let off an amalgam of curses that act as a heat ray. Despite her being described to have very formidable servants, it's said her Magecraft is even more frightening, that just her casual attacks are comparable to getting hit by a Gatling gun or a grenade launcher. We know that she's just as resourceful, being able to ignite a flame through her hand and use it as a light source. She had the power and the skill to relocate an entire castle in just half a day. Waver mentioned himself that when it comes to raw talent, there's only a few people he could count on his hand that come before Luvia. She easily got rid of a nearby bounded field with just a lift of her hand. If she were to get into a casual fight with Flatiscardos, it would end with at least 2 lecture halls being destroyed. In Prisma Ilya, she's even shown the ability to manipulate gravity. When she was fighting against Shadow Hurt alongside Ren, we find that she has access to binding spells, allowing her to slow down his monstrous power for a short amount of time. From her training sessions with Kuro, we know that she can unleash a gravity spell over an area of her choosing. We know that she can cast illusionary bounded fields, being able to make her mansion appear normal even though it was completely destroyed. In their fight against the Ainsworths, she was able to temporarily change Ren's body weight in order to help Bazette thrust her into the air. She dodged several of Shadow Salter's projectile hits at close range. When she's in possession of the Mystic Code Sapphire, she was able to tank even larger attacks than normal against Ren and reflect them back to her. With Sapphire, she was easily able to let off a high-level blast. She tactfully put down her magic circles to create a diversion against Shadow Salter. With the help from their mystic codes, her and Ren were able to beam a giant crater inside the riverbed. She has access to a number of well-trained servants, one of them being 2 meters tall with a vicious killing intent. That same servant had all of his magic circuits fried and still managed to keep himself conscious even after the fact. She has access to a personal gem ring that can absorb certain types of magical energy at will. And then, being from a family of high status, she has great connections, having access to her own private jet and a helicopter. If that ain't ballin', I don't know what is. Man, my girl is out here popping out like the president. This is business only. All kinds of manipulations from her Magecraft, a very rare raw talent as a genius, and some expert wrestling moves that will put you in a pine box. This doesn't even include the fact that she's from the same family that was in the Third Grail War. What are we saying? I gotta hit my girl with the B rank. If it ain't big money, I don't wanna talk about it. Who's gonna step up to the plate next?